From theories beyond the grave to supernatural occurrences, many are skeptical. But what if we have all been lied to? What if life has a deeper and more sinister meaning than what the eye can see? Enter the deepest parts of planet Earth, where we introduce theories, ideas, and opinions that aren't so far-fetched as one may believe. This is Theories of Cosmic Matter. What if the stories about doppelgangers were never about ghosts? What if doppelganger and cloning are one and the same? For centuries, people have reported encountering doubles, people who look exactly like someone who is still alive. Historically, the appearance of your own double was even regarded as a warning or omen. But suppose our ancestors misunderstood what they were seeing. Suppose a doppelganger isn't supernatural, or cloning isn't just science-based. Suppose it's a copy. Could you tell the original from the fake? Welcome to the doppelganger world cloning cycle. Before we go further, you will need to forget everything you've been told about this topic before. Open your mind to something new. But some of the pieces we're about to connect are very real. Scientists already know that genetic cloning is possible. Somatic cell nuclear transfer takes the nucleus from an ordinary body cell and places it into an egg whose nucleus has been removed. It's the fundamental technique famously used to create Dolly the sheep. Meaning cloning doesn't require some mysterious substance. It starts with cells containing DNA. And DNA can be obtained from incredibly small biological samples. NIH describes DNA cloning and testing from samples, including blood, saliva, and other tissues. Now consider someone undergoing dialysis. Their blood repeatedly leaves their body, passes through medical equipment, and returns. Our theory asks one disturbing question. What if somewhere in that cycle, biological material is being collected? Not enough for anyone to notice, just enough to preserve the genetic blueprint. Now think about the old stories again. Someone sees you across town when you know you weren't there. A relative swears they spoke to you, but you've never had that conversation. Then one day, somebody sees a person who looks exactly like you. Folklore called that person your doppelganger. But under the doppelganger world cloning cycle, that encounter means something completely different. The copy has entered the world, small at first, maybe through a routine blood check, a plasma donation, a hospital visit, or the COVID test. The blood collected, the COVID swab to test, goes somewhere. In 1951, Henrietta Lacks made claims that these research facilities do, in fact, exist. At the time, she was seen as nothing more than a crazed woman. According to her, doctors at Johns Hopkins took Lax's cervical cancer cells without her or her family's knowledge. These HeLa cells became the first immortal human cell line, driving massive medical breakthroughs while her family remained in the dark for decades. Programs like Project Sunshine secretly collected tissue and bone samples from deceased infants worldwide without parental consent to measure the global impact of nuclear fallout. There are so many claims of this, makes one think, do they actually have a secret research facility? Now known as Fort Detrick in Frederick, Maryland, this was the epicenter of the U.S. biological warfare program from World War II through the Cold War. It is where pathogens like anthrax and toxins were weaponized and tested on animal and human subjects, such as the Seventh-day Adventist volunteers in Project Whitecoat. And here's the disturbing part. A genetic clone wouldn't automatically possess your memories, personality, or experiences. A clone would be genetically comparable to an identical twin born at a different time, not a magically duplicated adult. So perhaps the strange behavior traditionally associated with doubles would be exactly what you'd expect. They look right, but they don't remember right. They hesitate around people they're supposed to know. Their preferences change. Their mannerisms seem slightly wrong. And eventually, the differences become harder to notice. Ancient folklore interpreted meeting your double as a warning of death. The doppelganger world cloning cycle offers a darker interpretation. The doppelganger doesn't appear because you're about to die. Maybe you're about to disappear because the doppelganger is ready. And before you dismiss human cloning entirely, remember this. People have publicly claimed to have cloned humans before. Those claims were never substantiated, and the NIH states there is no solid scientific evidence that a human has actually been cloned, so this theory remains fiction. But the technology behind part of the story, that part isn't. So is this theory real or fiction? Many reports point to its truths. Many religious organizations claim it to be fact. Many people around the world secretly believe it to be fact, but since there is no scientific evidence of this, you won't find any so-called credible sources. This is Theories of Cosmic Matter. Thanks for watching.